I am James Harman. I'm from Anniston, Alabama, and I've been playing music for a living for 50 years. I've had one job. I've been in California quite a while. I knew Pat Quilter, and I've known several friends that played through his amps. And when I knew about the development that was coming along on this new MicroPro 200 here, and I thought, well, that's going to be cool. See how that works out. And sure enough, Nathan tried it. It sounded so great for guitar, and I thought, well, I got to try that for harp. Instead of using my traditional setup in the studio, which I've been using for 35, 40 years, we just used the MicroPro 200, mic'd it, and went direct on it. And I was able to get the same sound, as far as I'm concerned. I was able to get the same amplified harmonica sound with that I got through my classic vintage equipment that I've always used. We got such a good tone, and it got me happy, and I played, and I had a good time. That'll be on the Manish Boys' next album on Delta Groove. Did a couple of my songs on there, and one called Hitting the Groove. And all the harp is through just this amp with no other stuff. I was totally impressed. I heard it and I thought, well, that sounds like a Tweed Deluxe. Click, click, click. That sounds like a Brown Face Super. Click, click, click. That sounds like a Black Face Deluxe. It's an amp. It sounds like an amp. It doesn't sound like those last 35, 40 years of transistor amplifiers. It's not a FET, it's not a chip, it's something totally new. This, as far as I'm concerned, is the future of amplifiers. You can trick people in the studio. You can have 3 or 4 things you're playing through at once and blend them together, but I'm playing through just this amp, and it sounds great. This disturbs me to think I may have to retire my old sweetheart amplifier I bought new in '63 and start playing through one of these. But this has got a bunch of tricky stuff that I'm always afraid of a bunch of gadgets like that. I don't know anything about it. You don't need it for harp. But this thing works. Nathan's able to get so many great tones out of this thing. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah, if women was money, I'd be broke today. Yeah, if women was money, I'd still be broke today. I burned through them too fast now. Yeah, and have the devil to pay.
Well, like I said, I'm from Alabama. I started piano when I was 4, and I sang in a church choir. So I've been doing this all my life, literally. I'm 65 years old. I sing a lot. And in that period of time, I worked with all the great gospel singers, all the great blues artists. If they had a band, I opened for them. If they didn't, we backed them up. And I've had so many great moments playing music. It's every night there's a great moment, and there's a scary moment, and there's a sad moment. It all balances out in the long run. Here's a high point of my life. I was 17 years old, and I put on a fake mustache and got snuck into a black club to see Little Junior Parker. I heard him sing. I wept. And I decided that night, this isn't goofing around. This is what I'm going to do. The next week, I went back and saw Bobby Bland. All the women in the front row were throwing underwear and hotel keys on the stage. And I said, yeah, this is for me. This is what I need to do with my life. So I took that seriously, And I've made that my pretty much my goal. I want to see all the underwear and the hotel keys on the stage and make a living at it. Music is a wonderful thing. If you can make a living playing music, it's a really special thing. It's a blessing, that's for sure. Because, a lot of jobs might pay a lot of money, but they might come with more stress and heartache than they come with joy. But music makes me happy every day. So I'm just a lucky guy. This period right now is sort of like the 70s when blues was difficult. You had the urban cowboy and you had the disco, 2 terrible battles that we didn't really win, but they sort of went away because everything else is a fad. The blues is not. The blues is just unfinished business. It's not old. It doesn't get old because it's about the human condition. When you sing in the blues, you're talking about real stuff, about people. We're not talking about fantasies. We're talking about men women, you know, the things that matter. Broke, drunk, horny, maybe cars. But those are really the only things that count in the long run. Blues is a conversation, not an argument. It's not how many notes you play. It's really about how much feeling you put into it and how much you get back out of it. Because the most important rule is use your instrument to play the blues. Don't use the blues to get to play your instrument.